You're basically telling your conscious mind to sit down and shut up while you kind of hack your subconscious mind to start creating non-existent patterns in the static. Noise can inspire. The amount of inspiration it brings depends on a lot of different factors. Namely, the type of inspiration that you're looking for and the type of noise that you're using. You may be thinking we're going to get into some weird hippie shit with some candles and chakras and stuff, but I assure you this is entirely based on science, I think. But first, let's examine what it is that I'm talking about.
What is it? What is this?
What is it?
What is it? What is it?
What is this all about? I can't figure it out at all.
People often claim that they come up with their best ideas in the shower or while driving, or doing some other task that involves some sort of low-intensity mental activity while being immersed in a constant wash of even and steady background noise. If you're a creative individual who likes to create new things out of thin air, there's a really cool effect that you can take advantage of in these inspiration nursery situations. While I'm pretty sure that this effect will help any human who needs to be creative for any reason, I'm going to be focusing on using this in a songwriting context because that's my area of expertise. Human brains are wired to connect dots and find patterns even if they aren't really there. This can be a good thing in the case of us spotting an otherwise perfectly camouflaged predator getting ready to eat us, but it can also cause us to see Jesus in a burnt piece of toast, or meaning behind unrelated coincidences. I figured that when we immerse ourselves in static, the right type of background noise, and distract our conscious mind with an easy task like mowing the lawn or driving a car, this frees up our subconscious mind to suggest patterns in the static simply because that's what it's wired to do. It's piecing together sounds from our memory, probably mostly drawing from our favorite influences and things we've been listening to lately, fused with certain aspects of our personality and the way that we view things. This is why oftentimes it can feel like an idea just came to us out of nowhere. I'm using a lot of these today. It's because our subconscious mind created it for us, thus leaving us unconscious of the experience. Let's dive into how we can use this effect in practice for songwriting. 1. Meditation method. Use a sleep app that plays white noise and go into a meditation session where you put on headphones and zone out to the noise for 5 to 10 minutes. This is a lot like mindfulness meditation, where the goal is to refocus your attention anytime it drifts to something other than your intended focus. In this case, you're focusing on the noise. Only allow the exploration of thoughts that are musical phrases, patterns, melodies, or some other useful idea. However, if it's someone else's riff or melody that happens to be stuck in our heads, we don't want to explore those. We want fragments of your influences only in spirit and flavor, not in actual pieces of their material. That's a no-go. 2. The be quiet and drive method. Go for a drive listening to nothing but road noise. Be sure to pull over when inspiration strikes. No idea is worth hitting that poor toddler who just stepped out onto the road when you were distracted with your phone. Be safe out there. Number 3. The DAW method, or DAW method, whatever the f you want to call it. Load a noise sample into the DAW and use it as a placeholder for any parts that you're missing, whether it's a guitar riff or the whole mix. Your subconscious mind will fill in the gaps for you if you leave yourself a noise bridge to walk across. Don't beat yourself up if at first you're hearing other people's riffs in the static. This is something that requires a lot of patience and practice, just like any other form of creativity. It's not often that we hijack a feature of our brains that most people don't even know exists. I can hear some of you say,
"But Greg, that's cheating. You're just having your subconscious write riffs for you."
To which I say, how is this different from any other form of creativity aside from moving it down to a lower level of brain activity? It's all the same brain. And you still need to refine these ideas. It's not like they're going to come out like f***ing ready to go. You're basically telling your conscious mind to sit down and shut up while you kind of hack your subconscious mind to start creating non-existent patterns in the static. Since these patterns don't really exist if the noise is random, your mind is essentially creating new ones on the spot, which your conscious mind can evaluate and record if it hears anything that it likes. I like to think of it like carving a sculpture out of a stone block. We know that there's a cool sculpture lurking somewhere in the stone, but we can only see a vague shape in the rough stone. As we chip away at it, more and more of the riff is revealed until we have a complete picture that we're happy with. But in this case, the starting point, that vague shape that we initially saw in the rough stone, that wasn't actually there. We tricked our brain into creating that shape for us, and then we just doubled down on it after we saw where it was going. Make sense? Yeah? No? Yeah? In my experience, there are 2 important things to remember when trying to take advantage of this effect. 1. The background noise can have no discernible pattern. It needs to either be completely random sounds blending together like at a coffee shop, or it should be a completely solid wash of sound with no pattern at all, like white noise from a noise generator, the hum of a motor at a constant speed, tires on asphalt at relatively high speeds, etc. 2. The accompanying activity needs to be something that requires relatively low mental bandwidth and allows our subconscious mind to wander. Considerations. I like to keep a pink noise track in my DAW sessions. Pink noise is like white noise, brown noise is also an option. Most DAWs come equipped with noise generators as plugins that you can insert on a track and switch on or off. Also be aware that if you've been listening to a particular band or album more so than any others recently, it's likely that you're going to hear a lot of that material in the static. This goes the same for any songs that might be stuck in your head at the time, whether you like them or not. If you've got a particularly nasty earworm at the moment, you may want to save this trick for another time. Anytime you hear a pattern that is original and interesting to you, record a voice note of it for later evaluation and development. The conclusion! So this is about as close to the source as I can get when attempting to answer the question of where riff ideas come from. Not that they all happen this way, but this is probably the most like raw / proto spark point of a raw idea before we actually bring in our conscious mind to start making changes. That's coming up in a future video. We'll be talking about how to turn one raw, vague idea into multiple parts that can be used throughout a song. This is something we call iteration. By we, I mean those of us who use the word iteration. If you're interested in seeing that, make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and if you want to be notified when I drop new videos, hit that little bell icon, that's what that's for. Or you can join my email list and get notifications that way, along with other free stuff for independent metal producers. Your call, either way, it's fine. I don't give a fuck at all. Or you can not do any of these things. I thank you for hanging out with me and taking the time to watch this. Hopefully it gives you cool ideas or whatever. Thank you for hitting the like button if you did that. If you didn't, thanks for watching, I guess. Maybe you'll like the next one. See ya!